Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. The NASDAQ did continue lower today, which was within the parameters that I had laid out on yesterday's update. In fact, to just do a quick update, I continue to feel that we have completed all of the advancing sequences. But as far as I'm going to mark them right now, I'm not going beyond the minor degree. So I do believe we finished our minute wave 5, which in turn completed the minor wave 5. Now, that would foretell that we've also completed an intermediate wave 5, a primary wave 5, and a cycle wave 5. But each time that I have done that in the past and put all of those numbers up, the NASDAQ has different ideas, comes back after completing what really looks like a solid 5 waves down, decides no, comes back in and runs up to new highs. So does that possibility still remain? It sure does. Does it have a higher probability? No. I'm still believing that we have seen the highs and now the market will begin to work its way lower in a larger, longer-term corrective phase. More on that as it progresses. Where are we today? It appears that we've now completed, and I've only done it on a minute level thus far, minute 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that then completes minor wave 1. So the first 5 waves down do appear on the hourly chart, even though this is the 30-minute, it also shows the same thing on the hourly chart. Now, off of this level, I would then be looking for a wave 2. It appears that this is going to show up as 5 waves up to form wave A. And I think that that's what's been complete. I think that's in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then from there, we get a B wave down, which may come back to, about 50%, 382, 50%. But first it's got to, find support here at 16,252. So, and I would think that if this rally, 118 up to 318, it's 200 points. If it drops back 100, like down to 218, 230, around in there, that is going to be a solid B wave. And then I would expect another 5-wave leg up in the form of a C wave. So we're going to get an A, B, C bounce off of this low. And it looks like the A wave is in. So we get a little B wave decline, another C wave up, and that has potential to bring us up to at least 382, which at this moment sits at 366, and then a 50% retracement, which is up to 16,442, and then we have 519, and then 575. Now, remember, wave 2 can retrace almost all of wave 1. They are historically have been known as reversals, because it seems that we're coming off of a major long-term high, and it takes a little bit longer for all of that bullishness to settle out and to recognize we are going to go down. So this still is the buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. So until we get additional confirmation, which will be an additional larger 5-wave sequence down. We've gotten the first one, but now I'm looking for it to be, say, on at least a minor degree 5 waves down. And then that is going to give me even more confirmation that, yep, the highs are in, because we're going to start to break below levels that the market should hold if upside is to continue. One of those levels is right here at 15,896. I would suspect, even if the market gets up to this, back above 16,500, close to 16,600. I would still expect that next 5-wave sequence down to break below that level, 15,896. And I'll build in some of those retracement levels down as this move picks up and starts to turn and head lower again. But right now, the focus is the next couple of days to see how we react to the upside. Now, again, where are we? I think we finished first 5 waves down. We're now going to do a minor wave 2 bounce. So it's going to be an ABC structure up, of which I think we have completed wave A. So we got a B wave down, and it will be its own 3-wave structure again. And then we're going to get another 5-wave rally, which will be a C wave rally. So it's going to appear very strong. It's going to have a lot of strength in it, but it's just a C wave within that wave 2. Now, also tomorrow, it's the day before Thanksgiving. So we got a lot of pre-holiday trade in terms of volumes may be light. Today's volumes were great. In fact, both the S&P and the NASDAQ, combining both the micros and the minis, traded well over 3 million contracts in the S&P, and I think almost 2 million in the, or 1.5 million in the NASDAQ. Great volumes all the way around for the S&P and the NASDAQ. So a lot of activity today, and it was easy to trade. Now, tomorrow morning, because Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving, it's a holiday, we're closed. So a lot of economic numbers that would be coming out on Thursday and then again on Friday have been pushed to tomorrow. So we have a total of 8 major or more important economic figures coming out. So before the market opens, we have durable goods, GDP, international trade in goods, and jobless claims. That comes out at 8:30. That could set the tone. Very easily, that can set the tone, at least for the opening. So we either could blast higher or we could blast lower, depending on how they come out and how the market wants to interpret them. Then at also at 8:30 on Eastern time, we have one more. We have wholesale inventories. They also come out, but that's not been known to be a market mover. But it could get stuck with all the rest and then take some of the credit for moving the market. But then at 10 a.m., we have new home sales, we have personal income and outlays, and we have consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment has not been all that strong to move the markets lately, but who knows about tomorrow. So it could be an important number. And then at 10:30, we have EIA, which is crude oil, the inventories. And that is expected, of course, to move crude oil, but how large of an effect it's going to have on the balance of the NASDAQ outside of any sector, energy sector, oil companies, well, I don't really think it should have that much of a play at all. But it's a major figure if you trade crude. So for tomorrow, I am looking for a small pullback in the form of a B wave and then an additional C wave rally up. I've given our resistance levels going up. The only thing that a wave 2 cannot do, it cannot exceed the starting point of wave 1, and that's 16,767. A break above there, then we're over to that other scenario that I just went over. The market turning around after putting in a solid 5 down and just racing and going again to new highs. Now, I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow, but hey, stranger things under thin volumes can happen. But my expectations are for a small B wave decline, C wave rally, complete this wave 2 bounce, setting the stage for a third wave down, a wave 3 down. And that could be very dynamic. And that's the one I'm expecting to drop below 15,896. And let me go back out to the hourly and I will start to show some additional. We've got that 15,896. And then we're just going to start heading down. In fact, I'm going to go out to the 4-hour chart to start to show some decent levels of where this third wave can get to. ultimately, we've got this as our next anchor of support for a move down, and that's 14,373. We've got quite some distance to start to travel, and all we're actually doing is just correcting what would be labeled the intermediate fifth wave. So we're just starting to come off. So this would be the first 15,000. It gets so sensitive. 15,896, and then right below that, we've got the 200 at 15,888 right now. That likely be broken. Then we're going to start to get some acceleration. That should provide us with some acceleration. Then we're going to be heading down to these points of support, price points, 618, 391, and et cetera. So we're finding them, and then I can put in additional Fibonacci. In fact, I'll just do it right now so that we can get an idea of what we're looking at. And so, come on. Every time I want to try to keep the updates on a shorter level. Okay, so this is the completion point for that intermediate 4. And now, as we did up here with this minor 5 and minor 4, we're going to put in some higher levels. Now, boom. Now we can see as we're coming off. Again, we have, so we had that 15,896, 15,888, 15,850. Then we start to break 15,566, 15,282, 15,073. And then it breaks to 14,596 and 14,363. So that's all within this next few legs of this initial decline off. But you can see how quickly we start to break lower. If indeed I end up putting an intermediate 5 here, then we're looking for it to come back all the way back as the decline, as the correction continues and forms. So, but for tomorrow, use the moving averages. Use the moving averages on our 5-minute chart, a 2-minute chart, a 1-minute chart. And I'm just going to go ahead and open this up a little bit. They are still all pointing higher, but we have that 5-minute 200, which is sitting just above right now. So if it breaks back below that, look for it to break below the 50, the 4, and the 8, and head for that 20. That would be my expectation as well, if indeed we're going to get that B wave. We get the B wave, we're looking for this to come down to touch the 50 and possibly even back as low as 16,200. Then we get a C wave bounce. But I can pretty much count A, B, or at least 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3. This is a little 4. So maybe we still, this 5 is not complete. We got that going too. Maybe we just go up a little bit, get up to like 326 or something, and then start to pull back in the B wave. So that's going to change numbers just a little bit, but let's let it play out and we'll see. Play with your moving averages. They guide the trades. They show points of weakness and strength. If the market blasts above this 200, it should start to pick up some steam moving up. May not right now because we're in the very start of a Globex session. But when more players are become available, then these things will happen. Same thing on the downside. If it starts to break down, it breaks to 20, breaks to 50, it should produce some acceleration as they become recognizable points of support that failed. Okay, so trade smart. Use the moving averages to guide your trade. Use it to guide your entries and exits. Use the Fibonacci levels to show where resistance and support can be found. And then also use them if it breaks one or the other, then you kind of get an idea of what your next move should be. And then finally, use the Elliott to help you keep an eye on what is developing. So everybody have a great trading day tomorrow. I likely will make an update tomorrow, but that'll be more for Friday. Thursday, of course, the markets are closed. And then Friday's a half day. So again, if you're going to trade either the Globex session on Thursday morning or the a shortened session on Friday morning, do be careful. It should be very, very thin volume. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you soon.